Now, you got to understand, the Spirit of the Lord is answering prayers and things are happening on a global scale, but we are no way out of harm's way. We got a lot of prayer to do, a lot of things that we got to look at and stand up in the Spirit over. But listen to me right now. Today, this is March 18th, the first round of the JFK Files have been released. Who would have thought in our lifetime we would ever see the JFK Files released? We're seeing that. There are over 80,000 documents attached to that. That's something that we're going to keep our eye on and see what they really truly discover. And I'm sure tomorrow and the next few days we'll begin to see how many things are attached to that, what's really going on. Also, I want to talk about a number of things here. This is going to be very important. I want to talk about why airplanes keep failing. Why are they falling? Why are we seeing so many issues with the airplanes? We keep seeing this over and over again, and you got to beg the question, why is this happening? What's causing this? In addition to this, I don't know if you know this, but the USA just sank one of Iran's most sophisticated ships in the last several hours. The USA, our armed forces, just sank one of Iran's, or even possibly their most sophisticated ship in the last several hours. Now, this is really serious stuff that's happening. I got to tell you, I feel like there's a false flag event attached to Iran. There's something about this, because it's a prophetic word I had some time ago where I began to see what was happening regarding the attempt on his life, the president's life. And then what happened is they were going to blame it on Iran. It was a prophetic word I had about 2-3 years ago and wrote it on the board. And here we see this, but I believe Iran is going to be a false flag event. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Also, how about Biden and that auto pen signatures that he began to put out there? In other words, there's many things that he authorized supposedly, such as the pardons of many people that absolutely, it appears, allegedly right now, it's turning out to be null and void. In other words, everything that was signed on auto pen by somebody else for in Biden's name, there's a lot that's going to happen. People are going to go to jail, supposedly, such as post it, share it on whatever platform that you are watching on. And I think it's going to be very beneficial to you. So I've got so much to get into with you that I think it's going to really bless you. So man, yeah, it is snowing here in Colorado this evening, and it's kind of interesting. There's probably a little bit of internet delays and things like that, but I am live in real time. I'm looking at your comments, and we're just going to get into it. So I'm glad you're here. Thanks for hanging with me. I believe the Lord's going to begin to bring great clarity to you in this whole process. I got to tell you, I was praying early this morning. I started to sense and see some things. I really did. I started to sense and see some things regarding celebrities, different people. One of the people I believe that is going to really be in a challenge. I saw the words fall was, and I pray for everybody. I don't wish negative or evil on anybody, but I saw this. I saw that Kanye actually had a fall, like something was going to happen there. And I'm praying about that. And I just believe that God wants to begin to, bring life everywhere that he can. And yet in this whole picture, I believe that there's going to be a challenge in that individual's life. I was praying about that early this morning, and I saw that and I thought, my goodness, this is what's going on here. But let's get into a number of things. First and foremost, let's go ahead and let's put up this article. And again, thank you to the partners of this broadcast for standing with us. And if you want to become a part of our partner family, go to josephz.com, partner today, and we'll call you and pray with you regularly, because it's going to be a blessing to you. And we never solicit you. We just pray with you. So you can do that at josephz.com. It's really the safest way to do it. Let me pull up this thing on the JFK files. Let's look at this article together right now. Look at this. So we see here the Trump administration released more than 1,000 JFK assassination files. People have been waiting for decades for this. And the president said, we have tremendous amount of paper. Like, there's a lot to be released. They're saying up to 80,000 documents. Let's keep going. Let's look at this article. You recognize here, it says in the Epic Times, the Trump administration released thousands of pages of records related to the 1963 assassination of President John F. Kennedy on March 18th, almost 2 months after ordering the Attorney General and Director of National Intelligence to draft or plan for their disclosure. That's amazing. More than 1,100 files with multiple pages per file in many instances were dropped on the National Archives website at approximately 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Epoch Times is reviewing the files, which include scanned copies of previous classified documents. President Donald J. Trump told reporters on Monday during a tour of the John F. Kennedy Center and the Performing Arts in Washington that his administration would soon release roughly 80,000 pages. That's a lot. I don't know if you've been up on this, but that's what's going on. Of the assassination files, we are tomorrow announcing and giving all the Kennedy files. People have been waiting for decades for this. He said, we have a tremendous amount of paper and you got a lot of reading. So this is just the announcement, the initial announcement, and so much is going to come out of this. It's not clear how many of the files are among the millions of pages already publicly released, and Trump did not offer further details other than suggesting they wouldn't be redacted. That's a big statement right there. That's a big statement. I said, just don't redact. You can't redact, said the president. Trump signed an executive order on January 23rd, giving it on the JFK murder, but I'll tell you, there's a lot more to come here. Now, this type of scenario is going on, is that there's going to be more and more of this type of disclosure that the Lord wants released. The Spirit of the Lord that's doing this. You know what's causing this? The prayers of the saints are causing this. You are causing this. You are the deterrent. You're the one that's bringing this out. And it's really serious how this is operating, how this is all coming together. So I just want to say to everybody, it's a profound deal. Now, if you're having buffering issues or there's a little bit of things, we're having some pretty strong weather here in Colorado. So I don't know if that's playing into it with just what's going on outside. So thanks for hanging with me. I'm just going to do my best to get this out to you tonight. Looking at all this, I want to address something that's going on. I really want to address this. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for being a part of this. But I want to address something else. I've been really processing this whole thing on why is it that aircraft have been having so much trouble suddenly just in the last little while. Well, let's pull up an article by the Western Journal. This article by the Western Journal really is run by my friend Floyd Brown, but let's pull this up. The Western Journal article talking about what's going on with airplanes with this DEI scenario. Look at this. Look at this. You recognize, and I'll just give this as an example, but it says DEI or DIE voicemail recording exposes shocking ways some minority air traffic controller candidates passed tests. Now I'm going to read this to you for a reason. Look at this. In the latest twist in the DEI scandal that's rocked the Federal Aviation Administration's air traffic controller testing, a diversity activist was allegedly caught in a recorded message promising answers to a behavioral examination for prospective controllers, but only if they are minorities or women. Now, this is very, very revealing, nothing that we don't know on a lot of fronts, but yet here it is. And while rumors of the answers being leaked to the National Black Coalition of Federal Aviation Employees have been in the public domain since well before the DEI scandal burst following a collision between a jetliner and the military helicopter on the approach to the Ronald Reagan National Airport outside Washington, D.C. in January. The recording of the Sheldon Snow, a major figure in MBCFAE, obtained by the UK Daily Mail, seems to confirm these rumors. There's some valuable piece of information that I have taken a screenshot of, and I'm going to send that to you via email. Snow said in a message first published Wednesday. Now, here we go. Listen to this. I'm about 99.99% sure that this is exactly how you need to answer each question, he added. Washington Suburban Associate members, brothers and sisters, I know that each of you are very eager to apply for this job vacancy and trust that after tonight, you'll be able to do so. And he goes on to say a number of things, but here's what I want to get to. Let's scroll a little further. We recognize that what this is all about is the fact that they waived qualified people for this agenda. That's why I'm showing this to you. So everything we're seeing here is not based on somebody's qualifications if they can fly or do these things, but it's based on their ethnicity and all that stuff. It's that kind of scenario. And so when you're looking at the whole picture, I got to say to you guys, this is one of the number one reasons that we are seeing so many things happening in the airline industry and all this, where things are just crashing, difficulty, all this stuff's taking place because it is related to this ideology. Now, the good news is I believe we're going to turn it around. I believe we're going to see something very good in the land of the living really transpire. Something very, very powerful and profound is going to manifest over this, meaning supernaturally by the Spirit of God, bringing good things to light. And so this is what we're seeing in the whole picture. Now, there's a number of things that are taking place, and let me show you another circumstance that's going on. So first of all, the JFK Files, they've just been, put out. There's so much, people got to sort through them. Secondly, we're seeing this DEI stuff come to the forefront, and that's beginning to be the recognized understanding as to why we're seeing all these planes have issues or collisions and crashes. It's because of what took place over the last couple of years, and there was a major push leading right up to this year. And that's going to get revealed and I believe overturned in a good way. Now also, listen, this is so vital. There's so many things happening at the same time. I gave a prophetic word, 3 years ago, where I was on the whiteboard and I saw the assassination attempt coming towards, at the time, 45. And I wrote it on the board. And then I said, Iran will be blamed. And that's exactly what happened. And if you've watched me, you've seen us do the recap of that video clip, you recognize that we saw that. The Lord shared that with us. Now, what we're seeing, because I believe that they're trying to marshal something forward that is not on the up and up regarding Iran, a false flag narrative. Having said that, let's look at this article talking about one of Iran's most sophisticated ships was just sunk. Look at this right here. Sunk. Look at this right here. Report, U.S. forces sink. Look at this. Iran's most sophisticated spy ship, and pounds Iran-backed Houthi terrorists for third straight day of attacks. Now, this is wild. Let's take a look at this, see if we can find a little bit more. Trump warned them repeatedly, and still the Houthis attacked our ships in the last 18 months. The Houthis have attacked the U.S. Navy 174 times and attacked commercial shipping 145 times. So then they just say, game time. Dramatic night as Saudi sources now claims Iranian intel ship Zagros was sunk by U.S. forces at the same time the IDF conducts wide-ranging strikes in Gaza after Israel discovers Hamas was plotting another major October 7th style attack. Gaza's ceasefire officially over, according to the Prime Minister's office. Reuters is also reporting ballistic missile movement in IRGC bases in Iran. There were reports from Yemen, video, of course, that several senior IRGC members were eliminated in the U.S. attacks on these Houthi targets. Now, there's so much we could talk about with this, but they took out their number one spy ship. Okay, this is really something that's really important to consider how this is taking place. Now, when you're looking at all of it and what's happening, thanks for hanging with me, guys. I know it's been a little bit, shaky with the live broadcast. It's just, there's a lot of weather and stuff happening here. So I think there's a little bit of that in play. But that being said, I want to say to you, here's the ultimate thing. Right around the corner, the Epstein list will also be released. It's something that we've prophesied for, 4 years. And this is the point I want you to really take in as we're talking about this. All these things are coming to the forefront. That means it's going to get more and more dangerous for those that are bringing these things to light. This is really serious. So we got to be praying. We got to be standing. And I'm live looking at your comments on multiple platforms. We have a lot of people joining us here tonight. Like always, I'm so grateful. But now listen. The world elite globalist agenda is absolutely right now imploding. It's imploding. Everything we've prayed for, everything we believe God for since 2020, all the revealing had to happen so that there could be a takedown of this narrative. But it doesn't mean, man, there's several thousand people on here right now. This is great. I'm glad you guys are joining us. That doesn't mean that they're going to go out without a fight yet. That doesn't mean things are not going to get very, very serious. They are. But I've been praying. I've been interceding. I've just been in the Word of God and really looking at what's going on and asking the Lord, what is it that's trying to take place? I want to show you something involving mega cities that they were going to try to build all over America. And I believe this can works, but we can begin to see a turnaround with this. I believe that we're on track for a turnaround from this agenda. Now listen carefully to what she's saying. The UN Agenda 21 mega regions just in the US alone. Watch and listen carefully to what she's saying. And this is some of the things I believe that the agenda has been marshaled towards and still is, but I believe that we are diverting this right now. Watch.
I'm going to show you the new map of the United States of America. And you may not be able to see this very well. We have 50 states in the United States, but this is mega regions.
Mega regions.
Mega regions.
See that?
Mega regions.
Mega.
Large. Mega regions. These are the city-states. These are large cities that are being made larger. Now remember I told you that the gray area is the wildlands. That's going to be the area that no one will have access to. And you know, I haven't told you anything about myself. I was a legal witness, an expert witness in land use and land valuation for my government, for the State Department of Transportation. Expert witness, testified in court. And I found out about this because I saw it breaks state boundaries, it breaks county boundaries. It's also a project of the Ford, breaks state boundaries, it breaks county boundaries. It's also a project of the Ford Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation.
Wow.
Regionalization and world government. You use government. You use trade agreements to destroy boundaries.
With everybody. I'll stop it, guys. I think the weather's a little rough. Maybe I'll jump back on here in a second. So here's what we'll do. We'll cancel it. And thank you to everybody. josephz.com is how you connect with us. All that is how you connect with us. All that. I'm going to stop it and I'll be right back on here in just a moment.